really good tournament, some really quality teams here. That was a 2-game series against Auburn. That was one heck of a 2-game series, you know what I mean? 2 extra inning ball games, and both teams going at each other as a prize fight from round 1 to round 15. And when you're close like that in talent, close like that in heart, those games are going to come out like that. So it's too bad that our season had to end. But at the same time, I thought that our senior class set a great example for the future of this program in respect of there were some things we did this year. If you take a look at the record books, if you take a look at the comeback victories, if you take a look at the no-die attitudes, that our team would be irresponsible in the future if we didn't carry over with what's going on today. First game against Florida State, unfortunate, pop up behind second base, and then we pissed off the gods, and the kid hit a home run. But, Florida State's got a really, really good team up and down the lineup and really deep pitching staff, so I foresee them going deep in the tournament. But they'll get a good challenge tomorrow from Auburn, no question. Those kids are fighters. But our senior class did a great job this year in creating an environment that was phenomenal. I'm not going to go over the opportunities and the non-opportunities and the plays of the Auburn game that just ended, because I just thought that the game was played with heart. And when you're down early and you come back and you battle and your senior pitcher comes out there and does one heck of a job, for as long as she was going, it's a big, big deal. Okay, now I'm going to get on my soapbox, and I hope you don't mind this right now, okay? The social media is a real detriment to young players in college athletics. Nobody knew a few years ago when we had Georgina Korick that she was hurt and couldn't play, and announcers on ESPN at that time maligned us for not starting our number 1 pitcher who couldn't even walk. We had pitchers this year. Our starting pitching staff was hurt the last pretty much 4 or 5 weeks of the season, and what they did for us was incredible. So anybody that's on social media and whatever aspects of it that critique us is ridiculous. I have a friend that pitches for the Houston Astros that came off of Tommy John surgery. He's gotten maligned and death threats on social media the past couple of weeks, and he went out and threw really well last night because he was able to put the noise behind him. But we need to stop this in America right now and really focus on what these kids do on the ball field and the heart and the passion they play with.
Josie, talk a little bit about you guys were down, 3, and then you came right up and stroked. I mean, that ball just got out of here in a hurry. Talk a little bit about, what you saw when you hit that pitch.
Yeah, I just knew going into the at-bat down by 3 that they weren't going to be afraid to throw it to me, so I knew that eventually I was going to get one. With a pitcher like that, who has a really effective off-speed, kind of just chose to sit that and kind of saw one over the plate, so I don't think I really did anything too much. Like Coach said, just think singles and good things happen. So that was my mentality going in, knowing I'm going to get one.
And Kathy, and when you scored, good thing you weren't hurt. You tried with the catcher, and you're. They always say when you leave the field, you want to have a dirty uniform, so you accomplished that. But talk a little bit about that, because when you went out into the dugout, you were really fired up, trying to get your team going, and at that point, you were looking good.
Yeah, just that moment, I was just focusing on my team, getting back to the dugout and celebrating with them. A big thing about our game is just using the momentum and continue to have it and always try and get it back. So that was a big momentum shifter for us to get that and be able to tie the game and stuff. But yeah, just getting in the dugout, getting my team hype, and just continue to have that energy. This is our second game of the day, so just making sure hey, both teams are tired. We have to keep that energy up.
Yeah, Josie, Kathy just talked a little bit about being tired. This was a crazy day. You guys had both games. You had a wardrobe change. And then you had to come back, I'm sure you got some food. As a senior, what do you tell your teammates to get going in that situation? Because you played really well, in another extra inning game.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, just sleep when you're dead. But as a fifth year who's been through almost every experience, it's you don't know when you're never gonna get this moment back. You don't know when, for the underclassmen, when you'll be here again. So kind of just embracing that moment and being grateful to be here. I think that was kind of the mentality going in, but no, sleep when you're dead. Focus on what's now. Being tired's a mentality.
Speaking of embracing, Coach, you and Peyton there at the
Hmm.
end. I know you don't plan on moments like that.
Mhm.
Is that something just came out of your heart? That situation?
Well, she grabbed me, all right, and look, I feel like I have a tremendous relationship with all of our players. I think there's a trust factor that goes on. They know, all our alums know, that if they called me and they're in Nome, Alaska, I'm flying if they need me, type of deal. I think one of the aspects of legitimizing yourself as a teacher is first, and you've heard this before, they have to understand you care first, okay? And once you do that, I think that you have the opportunity to be able to communicate on a different level. These guys, my old baseball teammates would not believe the conversations I hear in a women's dugout. They're so raw and real, right? That what they think and feel, they say, okay? And for a young guy I got into coaching, I was not used to that. And so I've learned to embrace those things really, really well. And, I'm not going to say I'm one of the girls by any stretch of imagination, but I'll sit there and they'll look at me and I'll side-eye them and they know that it's okay, to get to a certain level. But there's a tremendous relationship. The hug on the field with Josie, with Peyton this time, and then with Alana Rivera in the game that I took her out, at the end of the regular season. But the hug I got from Josie and Alana Consolazio afterwards was just as special. It just wasn't in the public eye at the time, but we've shared a lot of ups and downs, and especially Foreman and Rivera with their injuries. And people don't realize or remember that Dixon had an injury her first year, wasn't able to redshirt either. So they went through some things. And Consolazio also redshirted, right? So these guys have gone through some things. And, just to look at them on the field today, and I had a moment on the field today where I think we were up one or tied, and I'm just looking out at them, and I'm looking at everybody, and I'm going, man, oh, man. These guys are just special, really, really special. And I said also, they've injected another round of enthusiasm in me. I really wasn't sure if I wanted to continue to coach after 2 years ago, and this was probably the most fun I've had in a long, long time, and it's really cool to be around it.
Well, Josie, definitely not trying to make you cry or anything, but how does that make you feel? And being able to, inject life in your players?
No, as soon as he said that, that's when I lost it in the circle. No, but I'm just really appreciative. He's not lying when he says, he cares about us, and he really puts us before the game. And you can't ask for anything more than that, knowing that. And so for the past 5 years, it's just nice knowing you have a whole staff who believes in you, regardless of what you do. So I'm just really appreciative of that.
Kathy, from just a performance standpoint, everybody talks about your defense, but you really got so many great at-bats this year that went along. Did your approach change? You're so enthusiastic. It was just wonderful to see.
This year was definitely filled with ups and downs, personally and as a team. Hitting, I just kind of had the mindset, and Coach, we had a conversation just to continue to work and, never be satisfied. If things don't go my way, the ball will eventually drop, just continue to work, continue to find the adjustments until something finally works. But again, never be satisfied because, like Coach always says, you never know how to hit. You never perfect hitting. Hitting is all about adjustment. Continue to learn from your mistakes and be able to adjust from them.